Hello, everyone. Thank you, Father, for another wonderful and amazing day. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so in this video today, I am going to talk to you all a little bit about crack glass beads. Now, what I want to say is that every project you should not use cracked glass beads for. And I'm going to explain to you why. The one thing I am going to say about cracked glass beads is I like cracked glass beads. Everybody don't like cracked glass beads. It's not meant for everybody to like, okay? But these are some cracked glass beads that I bought from Hobby Lobby for $8.99, okay? And you get all of this for $8.99, this assortment with pretty colors and all that stuff. Now let me explain to you a little bit about the cracked glass bead. Whenever you decide to do a project using any kind of beads, it doesn't even matter what it is, always make sure you do your own research. I'm going to repeat it. Your own research. And why? The reason why I am telling you that is because when you do your own research, because a lot of people on YouTube, here on these YouTube streets, a lot of people are going to have their own opinion about the product. If somebody bought cracked glass bead and it cracked on them, the very first thing they're going to say is, it was terrible. If I was you, I wouldn't buy cracked glass beads. But I'm telling you, cracked glass beads cannot be used for all projects. Why? Because for one, when you look at the bead itself goes into an oven or wherever they put it, and it goes under pressure. And when it goes under that pressure, that causes the bead to crack on the inside. So yes, this bead on the inside is exactly what you see. It is cracked glass. Okay, now they put it in the oven, they put it under a certain amount of temperature, it cracks, then they take it out. Now what happens with these, sometimes they get a bad rep because people will try to use these to and string them or put them or wire wrap them on wire. And to me, cracked glass beads are just not to be used on wire. Why? Because when you put a cracked glass bead on wire, I'm just going to show you an example. When you put cracked glass beads on wire, right, you put it on there, it's going to be constantly moving and hitting and bumping up against this wire. And depending on if it's an earring, now sometimes if it's an earring, that's not a problem. But say for instance, you had to take and bring your wire up and wrap it around or anything like that, you are applying even more pressure to the bead. The more pressure you apply to the bead, that bead is going to crack because it has already had pressure applied to it on the inside of it that is giving you that cracked glass look. So my suggestion would be that anytime you use cracked glass beads, do your own research, okay? And only use cracked glass beads for projects that is not going to have the bead stressed or go under any type of pressure. Now I'm going to show y'all two bracelets that I made using, now these are 12 millimeter cracked glass beads and 10 millimeter cracked glass beads. And these right here are 8 millimeter cracked glass beads. Like I said, you have some that like them and some who don't. And I'm not trying to talk anybody into going out and purchasing these. What I am saying is make sure that you do your own research. Do your own research. Make your own assessment. So that way, if you decide to buy them, it'll be, at least you will know. It won't be coming from someone else. So I have 2 bracelets here that I created. Like I said, this is the 12 millimeter cracked glass, and this is the 8 millimeter cracked glass. Now, the reason why this is cracked glass beads are good to use for bracelets, especially stretch bracelets, is because the bead is not under any pressure. Okay, the only time it's under pressure, and it's not even under pressure. You see what I'm doing? I'm putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. Well, you see what I'm saying. Taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. That does not make the bead have to go under any turning or twisting or pressure, okay? Any force, any type of force with wire. This is a better way to use your cracked glass beads. Use your cracked glass beads. And also another way that you can use your cracked glass beads is when you use leather cord. Because if you use leather cord to take the leather cord through, and if you tie them in a knot or anything like that, that's another great way to use your cracked glass beads, okay? Now, this bracelet here is pretty much done the same exact way. I just used a few of the cracked glass beads, and it goes on the same way, and it's not under any pressure. And that's the one thing that we have to understand, is that when it comes to cracked glass beads, the beads have already been cooked. They're cracked, literally already cracked on the inside. So if it goes under any extra force, anything that's going to cause it to rub up against, like this is wire, so it's already cracked on the inside, okay? If you're twisting and you got to wire wrap anything around that or anything, that's force, and it's going to cause the bead to crack. So all cracked glass beads are not bad beads. It just depends on what type of project you choose to use them for. Always remember that. Whatever project you choose to use them for, you could do the stretch cord or you could do leather cord, but to me, using wire to wire wrap cracked glass beads is definitely a no-no. And anytime you want to know anything about whatever you're using, it doesn't necessarily always have to be cracked glass beads. You might want to know about wire. Do your own research. So with that being said, I want to take this time to say thank y'all so very much for joining me for these videos. Please make sure you like, please make sure you comment, and please make sure you share. And until my next upload, peace and blessings, everyone. See ya.